That's the real question most men need to ask themselves. Because the significant other that you have is very, very, very symbiotic.
Like, your mom loves you unconditionally, but you can't return that love to her, like, ever, because you don't understand it till you have kids yourself, what unconditional love is, right? And that might be the case where we're talking about, does your mom come first or does your wife come first, where
again, if there's not clear distinction between the two, it kind of muddies the water. And even when it comes to relationship management, a lot of women have trouble with that because they're like, yo, you prioritize your mom over me, right?
Yeah, like, how is she gonna want you if all you're doing is pissing her off, bro? And making her feel insignificant and not important, and making her feel like you're like everything else is more important than her.
Ladies and gentlemen, who comes first in a relationship? Is it your wife or it is your mom? Let's have this discussion on the report. Doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo. I mean, realistically, the way I view this is, if you have a better relationship with your mom than you do your wife, your girl is going to have a serious, serious problem down the line.
You married the wrong person at that point.
Yeah. Like, it comes down to preference. And what I realized is, the family, the relationship you used to have with your family and the family that you left, are you building a better future with the family you're creating now? That's the real question most men need to ask themselves. Because the significant other that you have is very, very, very symbiotic. It's a person that you're going to share your future with. It's a person that's supposed to be like almost one of your best friends. That person's supposed to understand your life to give you the grace that you need. And beneficially, the relationship with your mom is that of pure understanding and pure love. That is a person who loves you unconditionally and gives you the world without needing anything in return. Reason why those relationships are kind of symbiotic but also like mutually exclusive is because your wife almost has to replace your mom to some degree. She has to be the one that literally takes you.
I know. There's some nihilism that's going on.
If I can finish, y'all could then rebuttal it. But you know,
what do you mean? The man's not wrong.
Can I actually finish? Because you know, we all talk about letting people finish, but you know,
you don't let people finish.
Let him continue.
We done?
Talk the fuck.
I'm waiting.
For what? Jesus? Like, talk, bro.
Sorry.
Restart for what?
That was funny. You want to restart?
Bro, are you getting upset?
No, it's because we're completely lost every track of what I was thinking 10 minutes ago.
Wow, congratulations. That happens to all of us.
This is definitely staying on the episode. We can. This is going on. This is awesome. That was great. Sorry.
Yeah, continue. Why are you pausing it, bro? Listen to this guy.
No, there's nothing paused. Okay. All right, sick.
I'm sorry. Continue, Coley. I won't interrupt.
Oh, I remember what Coley was saying. That's why we all paused. The man was saying that your woman, your wife, has got to replace the role of your mother to some degree. And then both y'all were just like, what? There's some nihilism going on over here. And I was like, fuck both y'all, because Andrew's right. Because when I'm young, my mother has to look after me. And when I'm old, you goddamn right, my woman's going to look after me. Going to cook my food for me. I'll cook food for her sometimes too. She going to look after me though. Isn't that what he means? Like, why is that so wrong? I don't understand.
I don't know. It's the way he said it. It came across like,
y'all niggas' heads. I mean, sorry. Y'all dudes' heads are in the wrong gutter, bro. Like, y'all need to kind of just ease back and let the man finish thoughts and processing.
No, my whole thing was what I was going to say before I was going to let him talk was that, like, your girl is your girl. Your mom is your mom. You don't want to view your girl in the same aspect in your mom in any capacity because
my mom cooks for me, my girl cooks for me, my mom washes my clothes, my girl washes.
So are you looking for a caregiver or are you looking for a partner?
What do you mean, bro? Why can't my partner be my caregiver? Like, I don't understand.
No, but I mean, this is kind of like something me and like my other people talk about all the time, where it's like when you're looking for a partner and like everything else in life and you're kind of going through it, do you want to have your partner be there and actually be contributing and you're talking to them? Or do you want someone who is like, oh, you do your laundry and like is trying to mother you? Most guys don't want a mom. Like,
I don't know, bro. I don't know which guys. I don't know, man. Me, personally, I like my woman to look after me. I like feeling that important. Like, you're thinking about me. Like, you're making sure I am okay. I like being looked after.
But you're bringing
I enjoy that.
But like the way it's being presented, and that's why it's the fact that I was kind of rebutting. It's just like we're creating this dichotomy that it sounds like a replacement for your mother, right?
I mean, that's how you want to interpret it.
It can be interpreted that way, and that's how it's often.
But I mean, are we not? Depending on the woman you marry, are we not a replacement for her father? When she's growing up, she looks to her dad to lead her, to guide her, to give her the right advice, to keep her safe, to provide. So when she gets married off to a guy, that guy is supposed to lead her, take care of her, be there for her, put a roof over her head, and provide. So isn't it the same way on both ends?
So let's go into a question where it's just like, hypothetically speaking, let's say your woman makes more money for you and she's providing. Does that mean she's a dad now?
No, like why would you even take it to that level?
There's a lot.
No, bro, because even if my woman makes more money than me, like it's not like I want a maid. Like whatever days she can't do the laundry, I'll do the laundry. Whatever days I can't do this, she'll do this. Like it's not like I'm looking for a maid, but I would like my woman to look after me, and I would like to have someone that I could look after.
So when it comes to this kind of situation, like as someone who's still in the dating pool and whatnot, that dichotomy kind of comes with its own inhibitors because it's being projected out and being like, I don't want to be your mom, right?
What does that mean? That it comes with its own inhibitors, if you would say that more
like unable to progress into a relationship because of the fact that those two things are synonymous with each other.
I've noticed that modern day women these days, I'm not your mother, you gotta, like, I noticed modern day women, a lot of women like between the ages of like 25 and like 32, 33 have this real attitude about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm lucky. I'm 38. The women in my age group are proper.
But then it goes back to it because of the fact that if we're speaking on what's understood being a man, we could sit here and be like, in a humorous aspect, if you want to say, yeah, I could be your father, who's your daddy kind of thing. It doesn't really derive much from the perceived notion. So we can get away with that as men and say, yeah, I'm okay to a certain extent of being your dad, with the except of being like, I'm gonna be hyper expected to pay for everything. Like that's what your dad's doing, and that's not something that's detrimental to our development. Or we win from that aspect, right? Being the leader, aside from being the protector and putting yourself at risk, you win on being the leader. You win in that respect. The expectation of you being able to manage the household, a whole bunch of stuff like that. That is associated with it.
But I think that like in today's society though, that can be a little more dialed down to just someone that has a man with emotional regulation, a man with patience, a man that could sit there and listen and be there for you emotionally and help you decompress your day type of thing. It doesn't necessarily mean he has to protect you, because women these days, we don't really live in a society where women need protecting.
But you still see how we win on that dialogue.
You see
like we're not put in this state of substitute or expectation of being like we're supposed to take over an exuberant amount of roles.
Here, let me hop in on this because I kind of have some points of what you two in particular are talking about, and it's that like your mother and your wife kind of have two different roles in your life, and your mom is more like the role where you kind of get advice, and she's more of an advisor. She's your parent. She like more tells you what to do, and your wife is more of a companion. So she's like a best friend and like a lover at the same time. So like they have two distinct different roles from each other, but some of their roles in your life may overlap, like kind of what Jones is saying, where your wife may take care of you or whatever, or in Coley's case where he wants his wife to be his mom. But why? I don't know why I did that. But anyways, but the thing is that they both have two different roles that overlap, but like you kind of want to have them separate at the same time. Like you don't want your wife
100%.
mothering you, and you don't want your mom to be
Wifing
your second wife, you know?
But I also feel like if you are lucky enough to have both parents, if your dad has passed away, or you come from a single mom and she's been single for the last 38 years of her life, then yeah, you're going to be the one that she calls. Mm-hmm. You were her son. You are going to be the one that she calls. But if you are lucky enough to have both your parents there, I would have no problem telling my mom, call your husband. I got a wife to look after. Unless my dad's sick and broken and can't get up and blah, blah, blah. Why are you calling me?
Right, but even in that response...
You have a man. Call your man.
So even in that response, you're saying that your communication, your relationship should be indifferent than whatever. So going on that statement saying my wife should ultimately like be a parallel to my mom, then how do you delineate between being like, you have a separate candid relationship? Like
I fuck one and not the other.
That shouldn't be the only thing, though. That should be the differentiation component.
Why? I mean, no, that's like, but like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. For me personally, that's what my wife is. My mom looked after me and did this. Now you're gonna look after me and do this. My mom made me wake up in the morning and do chores and help around the house. And guess what? I'm gonna wake up on the Saturday morning and help my wife do chores around the house. The exact to me, nothing really changes when you have a wife as to when you're at home. Like, what changes besides you get to do whatever you want? And do you really get to do whatever you want? You kind of got to do what she wants. You know what I mean? Nothing really changes.
So is it one of those things where with your wife and your mom, you have to have like clear-cut boundaries, or is it something that like kind of flows as you kind of learn your relationship on both ends?
I mean, what boundaries do you really have in a marriage? You've been married for 20 years. What boundaries? Like, if your wife wants to just do like what? When your wife, if your wife puts her foot down, this is this, and that is that. Argue about it. See how far you actually get.
I get pretty far. Sometimes I just do what I want.
I don't know.
But going back to the original question, being like, who comes first? Again, if there's not clear distinction between the two, it kind of muddies the water. And even when it comes to relationship management, a lot of women have trouble with that because they're like, yo, you prioritize your mom over me, or I don't want to be competing with that woman, or even vice versa. That woman has a lot of influence in your decision making because it's certain, right? Like, there's situations where it's like even when it comes to like marriage and all that shit stuff, the influence is just like that dress, that dialogue, that thing, that, and it makes it really difficult for your relationship to move forward if it's always perceived that at best you're going to be an analog for the mother, right? Like, there's no distinction to saying, yes, there's some parallels, like, hey, I'd like for you to take care of me, and if the necessity is for cooking for me, that's right, because you went a period where you took care of yourself, right? Yeah. So you knew how to cook, you knew how to take care of yourself. Idealistically, you want to come from a situation where your mom cared for you, that's why she did those jobs, right? And then your wife is coming in and saying, hey, I appreciate you, I respect you, so I'm going to provide you with that assistance if necessary. So dialogue's a little bit different and allows that relationship to grow in a different and distinguishable manner. So everyone kind of knows their position on that aspect, and it makes it a little bit easier for you, so you're not put in a situation where it's almost like warring thoughts.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
When you were growing up, both your parents worked?
Yes.
Okay. So when you came home from school, sometimes you take out the meat and put it in the microwave to defrost, maybe wash the rice, cut up some vegetables, prep and stuff, and you do right, and you would do that, and then sometimes your mom would cook, sometimes your dad would cook. Sundays one person cooked. How would that be any different than when you're with your wife and you get home first and you do it? She gets home first and she does it. Whoever's home first does these. What's the difference? I mean, take away the relation, the dynamic of the relationship, the actions that you're performing. What's different?
The forced expectation.
But the actions are exactly the same. You do the exact same things with the exact same intent, with the exact, not the exact same love, but almost for the exact same reason. We're a family. I love you. We're going to look after each other. It's almost the exact same thing. Just you love that person differently.
Yeah, but I would hate to have that dialogue if I had to play Rochambeau between my mom and my wife. It's just like, well, I'm fucking one, so that one gets the win.
Well, I mean, like I said, if you're lucky enough to have your father, then your father will look after her. But if my mom doesn't have anyone, I'm going to look after my mom. But you better believe there's a balance between that. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm going to look after my wife, and I'm going to look after my mom. But I would never make anyone feel like they're more important than the other. Okay. Because at the end of the day, I'm going home to some pum pum. I do not need my wife being mad at me for nothing, bro. I need my dick sucked on a regular basis. I'm sorry. It sounds like basic, and it sounds like oh, you're chauvinist. That I don't care. I have needs. I know what I got to do to get those needs provided for me, and I got to keep the person who provides me with those services happy.
So what you're saying is you have to calm yourself down to make sure you get the pums.
So
calm myself down? Why would I have to calm myself
what he's really saying...
I was using in Jamaican terms. You have to keep yourself in manners in order to get the pom-poms.
What do you mean manners? Yo, bro, let me tell you something, bro. I like nothing more than my woman wanting to want me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, how is she going to want you if all you're doing is pissing her off, bro? And making her feel insignificant and not important. And making her feel like everything else is more important than her.
That's a valid point.
I mean, there's a balance. There's a balance. No, your woman expects you to be level and patient and understanding and provide a leadership, right? So this is what I gotta do here. This is what I gotta do for you. This is how I equal it out, and you're going to appreciate me, woman. Love you too. Bye. And that's it. But you gotta do that with love and compassion. But you still gotta be the head of your household, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, no, that's valid.
Yeah, that's all.
But to answer the real question, when it comes to who comes first, it's Jones. Jones comes first, and maybe second, and then the woman comes third.
Less than highly favored.
I'm gonna throw this out here, and this kind of relates to what we're talking about. But I seen a quote online where it was just basically saying that, like, your mom loves you unconditionally, but you can't return that love to her ever, because you don't understand it till you have kids yourself, what unconditional love is, right? And that might be the case where we're talking about, does your mom come first or does your wife come first, where it doesn't really matter because your mom has a different type of love for you that we can't really understand until we love another being that way. Mm-hmm. And our wife, we love them in a different way than we love our children. And our mothers love us in a different way than they love their husbands. So
I think it's almost like your mom wants, the love you give your mom is because of the fact that she wants you to become the choice. She wants you to be the best version of yourself, and she wants to make sure that you're taken care of. And then you love your woman because of the fact that it's just you know what, that is the choice. Mm-hmm. You chose to be here, and opposed to a central obligation, right? Because idealistically, unless you're a bad mom, you're refutably speaking, it's just you're there. You signed up for it from the jump. You have a kid, you're expected to at least take care of them for the first 18, if not for their whole entire life, right? So, like you said, unconditional, right? So it's kind of like idealism or different type of love, but people get that a little screwed up, right? You should be able to have that, but when it comes to it, I know you mentioned that it's situational, or was that you? When I said it was situational?
Didn't even remember. It's all null and void at this point.
Okay.
This guy's still sour.
No, there was a whole synopsis I had to go through, and I don't remember any of it now.
Okay, but you can still participate in the conversation.
So hold up, guys. Whoa. With that being said, I'm going to cut this one short. And if you're viewing this, just kind of, what do you guys think where we went with this conversation? Because I know we kind of took in a couple different areas, but it all kind of tied into... It all ties down to a woman's love at the end of it. And it's how do we perceive the woman in our lives' love, where I don't think it's one is better than the other, but maybe I'm wrong. So drop in the comments kind of what you guys think. Do you pick your mom? Do you pick your wife? Do they coexist? No, you guys laugh, but you could have a symbiotic relation, or not symbiotic. You can have a relationship where both coexist, right?
Well, I want to ask a question. If you're watching this and you think that we should have cut the episode, like Andrew said, and start over, or if you enjoy the episode that we did,
Jones, Rose, stop this because guys, stop this. As much as like, you know, everything happened at the start of it, it's like we did get to some actual thoughts on this, and it's like we talked about something legit, and like, you know what, I'm happy we did talk about it, because how often do we get a chance to talk about how we perceive love from the other sex, right?
No, at the end of the day, we love our moms, we love our partners.
You could love them both, right?
Right, and then, you know what, like there shouldn't be a war between the two. Like if you're creating a relationship in it and like you feel that your partner is warring with your mom, that might be something else to look over objectively, because of the fact that it's just like you guys should be able to embrace each other and love. That unconditional love is not like, you know, coming in that you're going to have to compete with that to a certain extent, but you compete in a different avenue. So going back to where I was trying to highlight, it's just like, ladies, don't come in and solely think that your delineating differentiation factor is sex. There's more things towards the relationship and more things that you can contribute to your partner, other than being like, oh, well, I cook and clean, but like he messes with me, so, you know, he should choose me all the time. No, if you're the partner and you're kind of building that relationship and all those things come in plus more, then there's no doubt. Right?
Yes, so to all my ladies listening, foot massages is another thing, you know, spread the word. And with that being said, peace.
Like and subscribe, share.